What is good? We're back. We've got a rookie mock for your pleasure. Dynasty, Superflex, tight end premium. Chev, what's good?
You know me, brother. Any day on this side of the dirt's a good one.
That's right. I just did a 3-night run of fish, and I'm just barely on this side of the dirt. Serotonins are down.
Yeah.
So, it was a doozy, though. Sunday night, if you're a fish guy, check the show out. Probably my favorite fish show ever. We'll leave it at that, since I know a lot of people out there probably aren't huge fish guys, but if you were, shout out Sunday Night Fish was one for the books. The whole run was good, but good time. All right. We got 4 rounds. We're going to try to keep it moving through this one. We've been doing these for a while. We'll probably do one-ish more through the training camp session. And then we'll maybe have one final, right? We had a little bit of news here through a couple of picks. See how much change it makes. So I had the one-on-one, went Genti. Pretty much chalk there. Chev, 102, what you doing?
Oh, War Daddy Ward.
So Cam Ward with pick number 2.
Daddy Ward. Yes, sir.
And, obviously a Titans fan, but I'm with you, man. I think for the most part, I will take Cam Ward as my second overall player, unless I'm flush at the quarterback position. But if I need a second or a third, for sure, I don't have any problem drafting Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward is going to be excellent, which is why I don't really have much hesitation to pull that trigger. Doesn't seem like you do either.
No, not at all. Me and Big Co talked Monday on the stream. It's like, when you get stuck, take a quarterback. Now, Marion Hampton had been my 102 in several of these that we've done to this point, but I want to be overweight on Cam Ward, because I do feel like he's one of those guys that can hit like a Baker Mayfield type of ceiling where he has outlier touchdown season. And I just think he's really good. So, yeah, I don't mind that pick at all right here.
All right. Cam Ward coming off the board, number 2. Number 3, I went Tet McMillan. I think there's a lot of picks you could make right here, and I wouldn't be too upset about it. I think a lot of people will go Marion Hampton. I'm going Tet. I like the receiver. I like him and Bryce growing together, giving him his alpha number 1, and I think he's going to be a target vacuum. I think this is an ascending offense that I want a part of, and I think Tet can be a big part of it. We've talked about it before. I'm not saying he's Mike Evans, but I think he could have a Mike Evans-esque role in this offense, and we've seen that be plentiful, bountiful, if you will, for said Evans. I think what we saw from Bryce at the end of last year was great. What we've seen from Canales over this whole transformation, I think, is great. Not an overly crazy tough division just yet. I mean, the Bucks have been underrated for some years. The Saints are always kind of a tough out in division. I think Carolina's ascending here, so I want to get a part of that. I'm going Tet McMillan, the receiver, here at the 103. Who are you going with the 104? Unless you want to chime in on Tet.
No, I mean, we've said everything that needs to be said about Tet. I feel like it's safest target floor of any rookie wide receiver, including the great Travis Hunter. So yeah, I don't have to spend too much time there. With the 1-4, I went to Marion Hampton. So kind of flip-flopped Cam and Marion here. I really like the opportunity, especially, this being Dynasty, we've got a 1-year deal for Najee Harris, and then we've got him alone in the Greg Roman run scheme, and with a coach that we know likes to establish it. And there's still plenty of room for him to take off this year. There's 463 attempts to go around, assuming that they kind of follow the mold and being one of the most run-heavy teams in the league. So, yeah, 460 attempts going around. I think that there's more than enough room for Marion Hampton to be a solid fantasy option, but not as spectacular as maybe Ashton Genti, who's going to have the backfield to himself day one. So,
right. Yeah. Now we got a little bit of update on Najee, that there was some sort of firework mishap. Cue the Jerky Boys if you haven't heard it. Pretty funny. Not that an injury is funny. We don't know what happened. So, I think we'll see. I don't know what the severity there is. He says maybe he'll start training camp on the pup potentially.
Non-football injury list.
Okay. So yeah. I think you can come off that at any time. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I don't know how long that'll come in. The big thing for me is I do think that there'll be a mix, and Najee will absorb be a thorn in the side here. we'll see though. That this could be a big opportunity for Hampton to get a leg up and keep it up. If for some reason Najee turns out to really have a long-term thing, even more love for Hampton right away to not be as much in a timeshare, because the guys behind him I don't think are as good and wouldn't be. You say what you want about Najee, but he plays. He's a solid player. I think he fits really well with what those two guys that are in charge of the offense, Jim and Roman there, want to do. So I do think he would have a big impact. And if he can't have an impact this year, I think that would be huge for Hampton. It is Dynasty and we're looking long term. But I do think they'll pretty much always be consistently a mix of players there. Just how long will it take for Najee to get, completely out of the way of Hampton? Could be quicker and would be a little bit more of a tick in the direction of Hampton there. So, all right, at 105, I went Tyler Warren here. It's tight end premium. I ripped the roof off this thing, much like Fish did on Sunday night. But, I again could have went Henderson here. Could have went with my guy Caleb Johnson here. You could certainly take Travis Hunter here if you've been watching for any amount of time. You know that Chev and I are not too into the risk factor of Travis at this point. I think at least some other people have kind of cooled just a hair. Think talent is great, but I know Warren is going to play offense. I know it could be a little shaky year one potentially, but it also could just be a target vacuum in the middle of the offense here. Red zone, Downs isn't going to necessarily be a red zone threat. Pittman career wise hasn't been a red zone threat. So maybe some good stuff coming in year one from Warren and already established as tight end 3 or 4 at this point in a lot of dynasty rankings and settings. So I just, I went up here, I reached and I grabbed my man and I said, yeah, let's go.
Bro, you are on one tonight. That's hilarious. So yeah, I love Tyler. I like Tyler Warren because of the fact that
you can say you love him. It's okay.
I don't want to say I don't want it to come off too biased, because what I'm gonna say is gonna sound like hate for other tight ends. Cough cough, Colston Loveland. But I like the fact that there's some uncertainty. I like buying into situations where there's some uncertainty, and then a big, strong, fast, really athletic guy can come in and command a bunch of targets. We likened it to the Brock Bowers situation. Terrible quarterback situation, gross landing spot. I really like what's going on in terms of, hey, there's not a CeeDee Lamb. There's not a guy who's going to command 140 targets. There's not a dominant presence amongst the pass catchers. And so that opens up an opportunity for Tyler Warren to stand out and be completely different. I know you believe in Michael Pittman. I personally am a Michael Pittman denier, but there's just no reason to believe that, Tyler Warren won't be able to etch out some sort of, definitive role, even if it is just, being a red zone monster as a rookie. So yeah. I love that pick. I went with Travion Henderson. This has been auto select Quinshon Judkins this entire time. I mean, we'll talk about Quinshon Judkins when we get to Quinshon Judkins, but Travion Henderson here is my pick. Yeah, I believe that's a 1-6.
106.
Yeah. So 1-6. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a layup right there at that point. 107, I went Caleb Johnson. Love the guy, the whole process. My second favorite running back in this class. Goes to the Steelers. I think he's going to get a lot of attempts. I think he's going to have a lot of options year one to tear the needle off. So I went Caleb Johnson here. Just like we said, not like Travis, just unsure of situation offensively year 1, 2. That I do know that Caleb's going to walk into most likely 200 plus touches year 1, and I'm okay. I'm okay with just saying, maybe one more spot. I'd be okay with Trav. So 107, I went with Caleb. Who you got at 108 here, Chev?
If you're looking for more FFD, sign up for a Patreon or YouTube membership and get access to the ADP, Dynasty rankings, the rookie draft kit, and extra shows every week.
I broke the seal. I took Travis Hunter.
Broke it. Love it.
Yep. There we go. There it is. Travis Hunter. And this is just my advice to anyone who, values our opinion, is just, if you're a contender, I really like that pick a lot more, being able to get him. If you have some early capital and you're a contender, you're a top 3 roster, sure, burn that on
Grab
Travis
him.
Hunter. Because
absolutely. Good point.
The ceiling is a nuke.
The ceiling's
Literally.
the roof.
Yeah, the ceiling is the roof, to quote Michael Jordan. I just don't think I'm uncertain that do I think he's going to be awesome at football? Yes. Do I think he's going to make phenomenal plays that make us be like, wow? Absolutely. Do I think he's going to do that on both sides of the ball? Yes.
Sure.
Do I think that he's going to command enough of a target share over the course of the next 2 years to make Brian Thomas not be the alpha receiver and to return on the types of draft capital that he's being picked at right now? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's back here for us.
Mostly lockstep with you there, and could be awesome. We could get a switch at some point where things go crazy, and he's, like you said, he's going to have crazy games. He's going to look awesome. I think that's just the what you got to deal with a little bit if you are going to fade him a hair. I'm not fading him. I'm just fading the offensive percent snaps essentially. So just a little concerned about that. All right, 109. We go RJ. I'm going RJ Harvey. Look, I'm not sure why anybody would pull the trigger on just about anybody else at this point. Love the floor, the receiving floor that is this offense. We've seen it time and time again, and I think RJ Harvey's a really good player. If he wasn't as old as he is, I think he would have been higher in the overall scouting report kind of coming in. He's moved up the ranks for a lot of people. Still see him going like 112, 2-1 turns, and I'm like, man, oh man, love that value on Harvey. There's just such a nice PPR floor built in there. This offense should be ascending. Knicks should, kind of take a little bit of a step forward. I don't even really need Knicks to get very much better. I just need to do exactly what he did last year and throw it to Harvey as much as they threw it to Javonte over the last 2 years. And we're loving this pick at that point, because at this point, Harvey's a better rusher than anybody they've had on that team for the last 2 years. And again, this offense should, continue to have more opportunities to score more points, and that defense is going to, put it on you. So there's going to be times where they're up and neutral, where they're going to be able to come out and just run the ball, and Harvey will be the beneficiary of that as well. So like RJ Harvey a good bit. So 109 RJ Harvey.
Yeah, love that. 110, I went with Emeka Egbuka, double E, the professional. I love the safety. I feel like he's insulated from a value perspective because we've now level set our expectations properly. We've got the JSN thing out of the way. We're hoping that you guys are being reasonable about the Rome thing. This is another example of being able to be have a little patience, and he's good enough to where he could be on the field immediately. So safe, low risk, high reward type of pick for me. So I went with Emeka Egbuka. It's not a championship play in 2025. Maybe it is. We don't know. I wouldn't.
If you could make it there late, it might be,
Yeah.
Right.
So, I big Emeka Egbuka guy. So that's my guy right here.
Probably I think he's been getting steamed up the most recently. People have really been coming around to Egbuka and good for him. So 111, I went Loveland, looks tight end premium, got huge draft capital on an offense that should be a lot of fun. We like Ben Johnson. We like what they've done with the tight end position before. Hopefully we can get him on the field here soon. I like Tyler Warren a good bit more. That's why I got a gap in between them, and I took some other players. I think they both could eventually be producing around the same clip. I just preferentially like Warren a little more. But hey, Colston Loveland, 111, steal.
But Casey, didn't you hear? Teams are trying to trade up to get Colston Loveland in the draft. That's how you know he's way better than Tyler Warren.
Hey, whatever. That's cool. That's like your opinion, man.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know it.
Well,
sure, there's a lot of players that were trying to get traded up for because somebody else wanted them. So hey, but still, I mean, awesome player. I think he's great. I think they're just stylistically, it's the same thing with like Hampton and Johnson for me. Like I just like the style that Johnson plays a little more than Hampton, and I like the style that Warren plays a little more than Loveland, and that's really what that comes down to for me. So I took Loveland at 111. Who we got at 112 here?
I said we would talk about it when we got to it. We're here now. So the precipitous fall from the middle of the first round to the last pick of the first round, I took Quinshon Judkins here. You know, he's one of my favorite running backs. I had him as my RB3 throughout the whole deal. And then he gets great draft capital. And then he allegedly did what he did. And so now we might be facing some sort of legal action or basically what he's done is put an uncertainty cloud over his outlook for now and the immediate future. But I mean, at this point, you know, I'm going to hope for the best. I mean, that we just need to figure out, you know, find out more about what's going on. There's a great legal guy who breaks down every single piece of new information. You should go follow him on X. I retweeted a bunch of his stuff because he's given like general outlines of like, hey, if this, then this. And it's not like, hey, I know this is what happens in these situations. So I felt really good about some of the information he was putting out there because I feel like it helps people be like to not freak out or just to have more. If you're looking for more information on the case and kind of how what's happened means. Didn't mean to go on a soliloquy about, you know, Drew Davenport or whatever, but I feel like just you need more information at this point. So people in the comments that are asking us, hey, I don't know what to do. Should I be trying to acquire? I got a wild tag on Twitter the other day. It's pretty funny, but I can't give you any sort of confidence about what's going on. If you're convinced that this is a nothing burger, just go buy all the Quinshon Judkins you want. I'm not recommending that you do that right now, but at 112, it's enough of a dip in value for me to still push the button on him.
Yeah, these are always tricky situations. 9 times out of 10, the answer is just relax, have some patience. You know, I don't get involved in what goes on off the field, court, whatever it is. I'm not asking this person to babysit for me. I'm playing a made up game about a game, you know, so you know what I mean? So
right.
I'm not the morality police, you know, or white knight in here or however you probably should buy the dip if you want to play and that's, if you don't want to, that's fine because of how you feel about the situation. That's okay. That's okay too. Again, don't really know exactly what took place, how it took place. If he's just a terrible person, then it is what it is. He'll probably, if he's really that terrible, it'll probably happen again. Not that there's any excuse for anything that happened one time, but you know, things happen. We've seen plenty of things be a big deal and then end up not being a huge deal for one reason or another. I don't know which way this one will go. Certainly seems like, you know, just relax, have a little bit of patience, let it all play out.
Just be patient.
Yeah.
So like there's not even any real football happening to make, you know, decisions or put this guy over that guy. There's no real football happening right now. Let's just let it play out. I'm telling you to exercise patience and caution. If you want to buy. Do not panic sell is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. So, all right. Let's jump into the second round. We're going to move a little faster here. Go ahead.
Come on.
Okay. All right. We're going to jump into the second round, go a little faster here. 2-1, I took Luther Burden. That's my guy. He's one of my favorite wide receivers, so I took him there. Who you got at the 202, Chev?
Jackson Dart.
Just going quarterback. Grabbing the value.
Just boring missionary. Take the quarterback and take the profits. If he doesn't take the first round quarterback, you can get him in the second round. So Jackson Dart.
Hey, if boring missionary gets you to the finish line, then that's all you need to do, right? I mean, it's not about the size of the boat. It's about the experiences along the way or something like that. Sure. All right. At 203, I'm taking his teammate. I'm going Trey Harris. You know, another one of my favorite guys here. I like the landing spot. I like the player. 1-2-3, Trey Harris. Who you got at 2-4 here, Chev?
Well, it's funny that you auto-selected this when we were going through it earlier. It's Jaden Higgins. The one of 2 second rounders that are signed and in camp. Well, I guess the Texans open up camp in a couple days, if I'm not mistaken. I think they open on the 17th or the 21st, somewhere in there. Anyway, they're about to go to camp. Jaden Higgins is under contract, fully guaranteed contract. That is causing all the other second-round picks to be just furious and have their agents not let them sign their contracts. So Jaden Higgins is in camp. I'm team Jaden Higgins. We can move on.
Yeah. Got the owners mad too. They're like, what are we doing?
How dare you?
Yeah, give these guys their money. What's wrong with you? All of it?
How dare you guarantee them all that money?
Immediately.
I won't be able to get my next yacht.
Yeah, this top of the second, kind of cruising through here, these first couple of picks. I don't have any problem and kind of any which way you want to do it, but I like a lot of these selections. And then Matthew Golden coming in here at 205. I think for me, this is the proper spot for Golden. I would take him firmly after all those guys we took in front of him. It's not. I think Golden has a really good chance. We started off a little hot and heavy on Golden because of the selection of the Packers, and as we've gone through, we've kind of sorted some things out. Again, why patience is. And he look, Golden could be the best player in this draft, and we're pooing him a little bit here. We know what the production profile is. We know that there's some really good things on film. We know that there's some okay things on film. Packers are a little crowded. So to me, he's kind of bumped down to the end of this kind of tier break here for that mid-second round. So Matthew Golden, 205. Who you got at 206 here, Chev?
I went with Elijah Arroyo. Yeah. Tight end premium. I couldn't pass it up anymore. This is one of my guys. I have been excited about Elijah Arroyo for quite some time. The Seahawks are very excited about Elijah Arroyo. I mean, he's basically a Noah Fant reskin, but hopefully he can stay more healthy than Noah Fant has over the course of time. They're really excited about his skill set. So I like Elijah Arroyo, and I will not be taking any further questions at this time.
Yeah, I mean that's my guy. He's been an auto pick after that tier kind of goes off the board with tight end premium. So I love that. 207. I'm going Kyle Williams, Mr. Can't do that. Well, we did that, and it's done. If you've been following us for a while, you know what that is. I'm taking Kyle Williams there. Like the player a good bit. I feel like Kyle Williams got kind of steamy, and I feel like he's been fading off for some people. I just think he's a really good receiver, and it's really sometimes it just doesn't need to be that difficult. Could be wrong, and I think there's a good opportunity over there. It's a weird depth chart right now that they got to figure some things out. I don't know how first year will work out and how the pecking order kind of gets sorted out, but I think Kyle Williams is going to be a part of the growth of Drake May and this team. Whether it's huge in the beginning, huge in the middle, or huge in the end of this season, at some point we're going to see a nice little Kyle Williams chunk where you get to see what I think Kyle can do, and guys like Polk and Baker will have to wait a minute to figure out what their roles are. Where Kyle Williams is going to come in, and we do have a little bit of a logjam with Diggs and Boutte and Pop Douglas and Kyle Williams. So again, it might take a minute to kind of figure out how that goes, but I have no. I don't have any reservations with Kyle Williams figuring out a role on that offense and be a big role, within the next half a year to year.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he has the versatility of skill set to be able to find his way onto the field sooner than later. I mean, you got Diggs with the contract. They've talked up Pop Douglas. Kayshon Boutte, we've hit on, how good he was towards the back half. Whenever Drake May started playing, how Kayshon Boutte was in that that fringe wide receiver 4 flex range. And I think that's going to continue, but I think Kyle Williams is going to find his way onto the field without question for me. So,
yeah. All right. Give me the 209 here. Somebody else in a little bit of a crowded situation, but been a favorite of the show since the jump. So I like this pick.
Jalen Royals. Yeah. Jalen Royals for me. We're in a range where I'm not, you're not probably the most bullish on these guys. So just go get your guy. Don't be beholden to ADP or whatever. Like if you want Jalen Royals, take Jalen Royals in the back half of the second round. I think he's again, just like almost every rookie wide receiver outside of Tetaroa McMillan. I'm trying to stop calling him Tet because he said he doesn't want to be called Tet for whatever reason. Whatever.
Do you
but
know
anyway.
him at home? Do you have a dorsal fin? Does he call you at home? Get out of here.
But we're at a point now where I'm gonna take my guys, and I make no bones about it. I think the ceiling for Jalen Royals is very high, and I think that he's going to flourish in that offense whenever he's able to earn meaningful snaps.
Yeah. You want to talk to Tet? You talk to me.
How would you like it if we paid your 2025 league entry fee? All you have to do is submit proof of a 5-star review from Spotify and or iTunes, click the link, and fill out the entry form. Multiple entries allowed. Commandeer your friend's phone to quadruple your chances to win. Every losing entry rolls over to the next month's contest, all for your pleasure.
Yeah, no, love Jalen Royals. I think he's, I love the idea of going to get your guy at this point. I will say, if you want Jalen Royals, there's a decent chance you probably could slide back a few picks here and still get Jalen Royals. At 211, you're probably still pretty safe on taking Jalen Royals in a lot of situations, held 212 probably even. So if you wanted to get paid a little bit to move back to get Jalen Royals, that's probably the best way to suck some value out of this here. There's probably not a ton of drafts where Jalen Royals is going 208. I think he's a mid-third round pick for us average. I don't have our ADP in front of us this second. Keep it moving here. I'm going to go 209. Jack Besh I like Besh a lot. And this pick was a lot easier, a couple weeks ago before Thornton was kind of imposing a little bit on my,
before mandatory minicamp and OTAs, this pick felt like a smash, taking a top 60 player at the back of the second round.
Yeah. And I like how he plays, right? That's really what I like most about Besh. Like, he's just kind of, and I'm not calling him Puka Nacua, he just kind of has that kind of reckless abandon about him once the ball's in his hand, and kind of a my ball situation. Now, this happens all the time throughout this process where this other guy comes in, and in these like short little camps where we're in shorts and t-shirts, who's really athletic, comes out there and blows some shit up, and they're like, I don't know, that 4th or 5th round pick's looking better than the second. And then we get in pads and things start happening, and you're like, oh yeah, there's a second round pick versus the 4. And not to say that I don't think Thornton's going to have a role, and Thornton could easily beat out Besh, but this pick has gotten sweatier for me at the moment, but still staying tried and true, going Besh. Who you got at 210, Chev?
I got the Anglo-Saxon assassin, baby. This is the price point I'm in at.
Yeah.
All right. You missed me with all that, taking him at the front end of the second round. Not interested. Now we're getting into the point where I can't pass it up. I don't think that he's going to usurp Tyrone Tracy, but there's a little bit of skill set overlap. I mean, we would assume, Tracy's definitely more athletic, but Cam Scatterbo is a dynamic running back that's hard to bring down. He missed forced tackles, all that. Missed tackles forced, all that good stuff. He was second behind Ashton Genty in the entire NCAA last year. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Cam Scatterbo at this price point.
Yeah, agreed. Love the price point. This is, properly rated for me. I don't hate it there. 211, I'm going Tyler Shuck. Again, properly rated right here. Just a quarterback who could have a chance to start, and, a stepping stone to a bridge to another quarterback, if you will, essentially right there. So will it be Rattler? Will it be Shuck? I don't know. I could probably get both of them for a reasonable price tag right now and kind of see what happens. Shuck has played at some high levels and played at some high level universities, had a long list of injuries that kept him moving around. Some scouts really liked him. Saints took him. We'll see what Kellen Moore and this offense can do with him if he gets a shot. But at the end of the second round, I'll take a second round drafted quarterback to a place that has an open section in that area of quarterback that seemingly at some point this year will get a chance to see if he has the fortitude, if you will, to grab it and run with it. Also the skill set. So I'm going Tyler Shuck there at 211. What you got, a 212?
212, Jalen Milroe. Konami code skill set available at the back end of the second round.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I like it. We just did an auction startup, and I got Sammy D. Felt real good pairing him up with Sammy D. So, you can kind of get that Falcon skill set. And I talked about it on maybe the last episode that we did talking about rookies. Like, I don't think Milroe was in the best situation for his skill set in college this past year. I think this area that he's going to sit at least for a year or so behind Sam Darnold, I think it's going to be really, really good for him. And the scheme that they're going to run, I think, could be really, really excellent for what Jalen Milroe could do in his development. So I like that a lot. 301, I'm going Terrence Ferguson, tight end premium. Like the Ferg daddy quite a bit here. You're giving me the 301. You're giving me a tight end and a really, really good offense. How long does Devontae Adams stick around in that offense for? A year or two, probably tops. Mm-hmm. You come in and we haven't seen McVay really feature a tight end necessarily. I think it's something that he wouldn't be not interested in had he had some health. We've seen glimpses here and there. We've seen Higbee have some target share and some burn, and every once in a while, who they take. Who's the other guy they brought in? I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
Last year they brought in Cody Parkinson.
Cody Parkinson, right? So I feel like they've kind of been searching a little bit. Seems like, I'll take a chance on a guy in this offense in the third round. And I happen to like the skill set of Ferguson kind of moving forward. All right, 302, who you got?
302, Dylan Sampson.
Ooh, moving up.
Yeah, moving up. Got to move him up. Big fan of, was a big fan of Dylan Sampson. Not a big fan of the landing spot / opportunity that seemed apparent at the time. However, now we're talking about him being, in much more of a featured role potentially. We got to wait and see how things shake out. But at this point, he needs to be on your roster. I would recommend going and just taking a temperature, price check on where, the Dylan Sampson owner is if you don't have him.
Yeah. Coming in, I was fully ready to pay a second. So, maybe you're ready to pay a second, or maybe the owner's ready to, some people may have gotten Dylan Sampson in the fourth round at this point, Yeah. So maybe 2/3, maybe a second, I don't know if you want to do that or not, but Dylan Sampson definitely got to be on the rise here. I love the player. Had him in the top 10 of the running backs coming out. So I like it. Mason Taylor, I'm going at 303, just another tight end. Probably my least favorite of the three, but he's landed in a situation where he could have targets right away. And we're talking about the third round here, and this is tight end premium. And again, could be a really, really good player. And for him to be my least favorite of that kind of other three tight end set, I think, just Arroyo is just a different beast to me. And Ferguson and Taylor, slight edge to Ferguson. So Taylor at 303. Who you got at 304, Chev?
Oh, Pat Bryant.
Pat Bryant over Tootin. Tootin's on the slip and slide. Take it to the half.
Hey man, listen. People got back to their evaluations of Tootin prior to the draft, which was like, hey, he fumbles a lot. And that's a good way to end up, unemployed. Mm-hmm. If you just, you fumble the ball a lot at the NFL level. So yeah.
Pat Bryant though at 304.
Pat Beasy. Who'd you got?
Yep.
Who you got?
All right, 305. I'm taking Tootin. The slide has gone far enough. I'm going Tootin. I don't mind taking the shot. I'm again kind of like Scatabo. Like I didn't like that mid two Tootin, but you start getting me into the third, and I'm way back in on Tootin at that point. Right? It could be really awesome. We're chasing the Bucky Irving story because that's what we do. But at 305, properly rated for me, could go 301, 302, 303, 304, and anywhere in the third, even 212, you could talk me into it really. Back end, second, early third, I think proper value for Tootin. So, all right, 306, what you got, Jeb?
Rashard Smith.
All right. So going with the 7th round pick in the third.
I understand that it's incorrect process, but I would like to point out one thing. He got that dog in him.
Yeah.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Interesting player with a potential interesting role on a team that running back is for the year, slightly up in the air. Does Pacheco bounce back? And then it's Kareem Hunt and Elijah Mitchell. And who catches the passes there for them? I think Brashard Smith is clearly the best pass catcher on that roster right now from the running back standpoint. And we've seen, now the people are coming around to Jerick. Give me the last name.
Jerick McKinnon.
Now people are coming around to a Jerick McKinnon type potentially role for Brashard kind of year one. And then does Pacheco stick around after that? Who knows? So this could be the kind of the preamble to what's going on. You give him this kind of a role, you get him catching some passes. So, whilst taking a 7th round player in the middle of the third over some guys that have been drafted earlier, well, I don't think Savion Williams has been drafted in any of the drafts that I've been in. So at some point we could take draft capital and bend over and shove it up your tailpipe.
That's wicked.
Couple of liar drops so far. So, all right. It's 3-7. I'm going Shedeur Sanders. Look, I think, again, there's a real good chance that by the time either camp's over or halfway through the season, that Shedeur is going to get a chance to get a crack at running this offense. And at the middle of the third, this is somebody who I liked at the end of the first coming into this thing. And look, we got to reevaluate some stuff and whatnot, but I think he's got some potential to take command of this Browns offense and not let it go at some point. I'm going Shedeur. 307.
Love that. I went with his teammate.
307. Sorry. So 308. Who you got?
Harold Fannin Jr. The Fannin. So
Harold Fannin Jr. the third.
Yeah, right. Harold Fannin Jr. the third. So big fan. Love the landing spot. We know that Kevin Stefanski will run a ton of 12 personnel. Now that he has Harold Fannin, hopefully we can let him use his skill set and be able to play to his strengths a little bit more. I know Harrison Bryant was the guy that they were using as the second tight end, and that led to nothing from a fantasy perspective. So I'm really looking forward to Harold Fannin Jr. And David Njoku could be out after this year. So Harold Fannin Jr. Harold Fannin Jr. the third. The Fannin.
Double-edged sword for Fannin there, right? Because they're saying they want to get back to running 12 where they were at a lot of 11 last year, but they've been in 12 a lot before. So we get 2 tight ends out there, and what happens with Njoku in the future? Fannin, uber athletic kind of tight end, could have a nice little role year one into year two. So kind of Brashard Smithian kind of conversation there. All right. Jalen Knoll, 309 for me. Enough said. Who you got at 310? Chev.
Devin Neal.
The other professional's professional.
Yeah.
I love the late Devin Neal, man. He's what a mensch that guy is.
Real mensch. He was with Uncle Ned and Aunt Liz's kids.
Yeah. I mean, look, this role for the RB2 in that offense is up in the air. We haven't had Kendre take control of it, right? Which I do think Kendre, if healthy and not thrown to the doghouse by Kellen Moore, could really come in here and take advantage of this. But if there's any slip up at all or any injury, Devin Neal is coming in and grabbing that thing and not letting it go.
Yeah, athletically, it should be Kendre Miller. But, the fact of the matter is Devin Neal is just a better football player, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. 311, I'm going Jaden Blue. Just an opportunity to potentially grab a big role in this offense. Year one, it's kind of wide open. It's Miles Sanders. It's Javonte Williams. It's the dude from Clemson, Phil Maffa, and then Jaden Blue, right? I don't think Jaden Blue's some excellent running back, but we're here at the late third. He's got some juice to him though, and some wiggle. Good pass catcher. So at this point, you got to take some calculated shots on what could be. Really, all I need is a couple plays in the preseason, and I could probably move this guy for, a little more than what I paid for him if I don't want to hold on to him. So, there's these kind of guys that really could get percolating really, really quickly, and I think Jaden Blue's one of them. So I'm going 311 Blue. All right, who you got at 312, Chev?
Jarquez Hunter.
Boom. Jarquez Hunter.
Yeah,
I know that's your boy.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan of his game. Feel like he just does everything well. He goes to what boosted him up in a lot of people's minds is the landing spot and potentially everyone's pointed to his explosive run rate and what the Rams being dead last in explosive run rate. So Jarquez Hunter, free lottery pick in the third round, into the third round, going into the fourth.
Yeah, I like it. All right, we're going to go rapid fire through the fourth. Look, we've just did kind of talking about these later round rookie picks in a show that me and Chev that had just dropped. So make sure you check that out. And we'll go a little bit more in depth of which guys we like and kind of why and who's surging as far as the rookies right now. So at 401, I went Eric Ayomanor. I think this is good value and could have a role year one and a solid receiver. 402, who you got?
Will Howard.
All right. 403, I went Woody Marks. Just a good satellite back here. Should come in and catch passes year one. And the Nick Chubb thing, I don't think they're not Spider-Man memeing each other on the role. I think that he's got a completely different role. So Woody Marks 403. 404, who you got, Chev?
Rondé Gas in the second.
Love him. Easy money. I almost took him, but had to stay. I knew you disrespect. I know you disrespect Woody.
Poker face on. Mm-hmm. I tried to keep a poker face on so hard. I was like, please don't do it. Please don't do it.
I knew you disrespect Woody anyway. I had to throw him some love. At this point, everybody knows we love Rondé. So, 404, great pick, tight end premium. 405, I went Torrey Horton Jr. the third. Love the potential role for him either this year or moving forward next year. 406, who you got, Chev?
406, I went with Taj Brooks.
Interessante.
Big fan.
Not my fave, but hey, we're in the fourth round, so it really doesn't matter. 407, Dante Thornton. We talked about it with the best thing there. 408, who you got, Chev?
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 7th round pick out of the Washington Commanders running backfield. Yeah.
Getting some positive buzz, and when we've talked about that backfield before, being possibility of some openness. Eckler and Brian Robinson being fine players, especially Eckler at this point in his career. No disrespect, not on the elite level, but pretty solid. Krosky-Merritt has an opportunity here. So Monangai, same kind of thing. Opportunity in a really, really fun offense, late round pick, but hey, Swift doesn't take a hold of it. Roshan doesn't take a hold of it. Maybe they like Monangai, worth a dart throw in the fourth round. Pick him up. A lot of missed force tackles from Monangai too. Not an explosive player necessarily with long speed, but could be just what the doctor ordered for Ben Johnson in year one until he can go find another running back he loves. 410, who are you taking?
Ty Felton.
Third round draft capital, Ty Felton. That's the Ty Felton.
That's the one, man. We're just, we just can't create a path to relevancy for this guy.
Well, right now. Hold on now. Jordan Addison misses a little time with a little dust up with the booze.
That is true. That is true. But they're also, one camp report said that it is Jalen Naylor's wide receiver 3 job to lose.
Dude, Naylor has been solid in his duties throughout there. Michigan State, I believe. But Felton's different. I think Felton's got a different gear than Naylor, and just great after the catch, can get over the top. Really, some really good gaudy stats from Felton at Maryland there. All right, 411 went DJ Giddens. It was a toss up between him and Jordan James. Quicker path maybe to relevancy as a starter for Giddens, so I went Giddens. 412, who you wrapping up with here?
Isaac Tesla.
Ooh, make sure you wear protection when you're messing with him.
Not a third. Yeah, just another third round pick, the end of fourth round. Again, I can't create a path to relevancy that doesn't involve one of the premium pass catchers getting hurt. So that is why he is where he is, and that is why he will remain there until I have more information that tells me otherwise.
Yeah. So Titans guy doesn't take Helm and doesn't take Restrepo on that last pick.
Nope.
No love for either.
Nope.
I like Restrepo a decent amount. Helm, I think Chig's going to grab it and run with it. So I don't really see the role for Helm just yet.
Well, it's a contract. It's a contract year for Chig. So that's the play. Is if they let Chig walk. If Chig continues to just be average to below average.
Chig was good down the stretch last year, man.
He was great down the stretch last year.
Yeah, I think he's about to. We just did an auction. I had to Google that. He's still like 25 years old, man. I think him
super young.
I think him and Cam Ward could really, really have a nice little relationship, and they're forced to bring him back.
We've already seen, if you're into Cam Ward propaganda, there's a 13-minute video on YouTube that's must-see TV for you.
All right, make sure you check that out. All right, we got 4 rounds in for your pleasure and 40-ish minutes. That might be a new record. Chev, what else you got for him?
Well, obviously, I'm always really, really excited about, my autobiography and my OnlyFans, The Legend of the Handless Clapper. It's available on all audiobook platforms. No, I'm kidding. But obviously, go follow me on the Twitter Xverse @Chev90. All my stuff is on the link tree. Download the app in the App Store, Google Play Store, League Champ. We should be rolling out the finishing touches of a gamifying aspect of it. It's going to make it a lot more fun and a lot more easy to put your ranks in. And with all that, you enter the ranks in, get the sweepstakes. It's a free money machine. So we're giving you money to put ranks into the app. So
sounds like good innovation there. I'd like to meet the man who made that free money machine. He should be up for the Nobel Peace Prize. All right, we got a new channel dropping here real soon. Maybe Friday we might do the first live show on it. We got redraft stuff for your pleasure, and we're going to have a new podcast feed with a bunch of other stuff on it. So that'll be all out really soon for your consumption. We appreciate you guys. Ooh, Alfred Collins just signed, 2nd round pick and a $10.3 million deal.
Fully guaranteed?
4 year. I don't know. I didn't open it, but 10.3 for 4, 2nd round pick. So not a lot of 2nd round picks have signed. So that's good movement here as we're moving
Alfred
forward.
Collins, that's the offensive tackle from Texas.
No, that's Niners defensive tackle from Texas.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Big boy from Texas.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's fully guaranteed.
I don't know. We'll have to check.
So, if it
all
was.
right. Until next time, I'm Casey. That's Chev. Peace.